In 2014, I started giving up on, not life, but on just things, on things that I consume too much of in life, right? So at the time, I recognised that I was consuming too much pop, or is it soda, or fizzy drinks, as we call them back in England. Basically Coca-Cola type product, right? And it was causing me harm on a level that I just couldn't sort of fathom to both my teeth and just my overall well-being. I think that it was helping to pile weight onto my bones, not on my bones, you can't, only calcium, milk does that, but it was adding fat to my overall body, I think. And so I thought, you know, sod it, this coming year, 2014, I'm just going to test myself, the limits of my willpower, and completely give up fizzy drinks for 1 year. And so I did. And firstly, it was easy. It was easy to do, but I had to make sure that in giving up fizzy drinks and in giving up the caffeine that it gave me and that buzz that it gives the back of your throat when you feel that fizz against it. It's hard to explain. If you can't relate to what I'm saying right now, I don't blame you. But I had to replace it, and I replaced it with coffee. So this is the wife's mug. It's my mug. I'm comfortable with that. That's fine. And I had to replace it with coffee because that, you know, gave you caffeine. Of course, though, as I've stated before in a previous video about this very lovely subject, I didn't drink coffee before that, so it was quite a transition to go from one to the other. But it was vital that I did, because I think in what will later become a pattern of mine of once a year giving up something new of which I consume too much, the key is to replace it. Because if you don't, I think that you're going to get those withdrawal symptoms. It's like when you know, a person gives up cocaine, not that I can relate in any way to that, withdrawal symptoms kick in, right? And that makes the process of rehabilitation, making up words again. Rehabilitation, thank you, it's been a long day. It makes that process so much more difficult. And so it was very important to me that I find a replacement, and coffee did that. Coffee was absolutely that for the caffeine aspect of pop. But, as I mentioned a minute ago, I had this sort of weird, I mean, I suppose a lot of people have this weird sensation that when I have a fizzy drink, the fizz feels fantastic. It's like a religious experience, right? When you're consuming stuff. It could just be me, and maybe I'm just weird, but I loved it. I almost lived for it, and that's why I was drinking 3 or 4 Dr. Peppers a day and Red Bull. And, you know, I believed in doing so that would keep me awake. It only did it for 1 hour. But the fizz was something that I required out of my day. But of course, you know, something like your Perriers of this world, and now, what's it called? The LaCroix? LaCroix that everyone, all the young people drink, including...
We drink it too.
We do. I'm as young as the next guy.
I drank LaCroix when I was a kid.
When you were a kid? Did it exist then?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, so that's how hip I am. I didn't realise it did. And so then the desire to have fizz attack the back of my throat was satisfied, as was I. So now I feel no desire to go back to pop, and I don't miss it. So, you know, one of the good things about that is that I live in America, right? So America is obviously renowned for a lot of its pop companies like Coca-Cola and the Pepsi company, all of that. So you're inundated, as it were, with those kind of options when you go into restaurants. But the other thing about America when it comes to soda is this notion of free refills. That's good, isn't it? We live in the land of the free refills, right? And so it could have been tempting from that point of view to stray, but it never was. In many ways, I think that's one of the bonuses that's come out of this, is that I don't partake in that kind of excess of consumption that I used to. Believe me, I used to. I looked like this back in the day, so, you know, you can see there's been a slight change. And that was 2014, that was just the start of it. You know, 2015 would bring a much tougher challenge. More on that soon. I will do more of these videos, but if you're doing the math, we're now at a point where I have done 4 of these challenges, the art of giving up something once every year that you consume too much of and replacing it with something that is of benefit to you. And so look out for my next video regarding what I gave up in 2015, 2016, and of course this year of 2017. Those are to come over the next few months. I'm just going to roll them out slowly, you know, with a high-pitched voice for no reason. I plan to do this kind of thing for the rest of my life, so once a year you'll get another one of these videos. So stay tuned. Until then, LaCroix's away. It's coffee. Keep forgetting.